Namaste and welcome to our channel. What's not to love about nature? Whether it's your best friend, your pet, your back garden, nature is everything everywhere. Nature is everything around us and something we should all respect, appreciate, and do our utmost to care for and preserve. I hope this quote will help you know what nature means to each of us. So, let's begin. Nature does nothing uselessly. The poetry of the earth is never dead. Nature is not a place to visit, it is home. Colors are the smiles of nature. It is in the still silence of nature where one will find true bliss. Beautiful things don't ask for attention, just like nature. The goal of life is living in agreement with nature. Nature rarely surrenders one of our magnificent secrets. Nothing is art if it does not come from nature. Every flower is a shoal blossoming in nature. Nature's law is stronger than any little law you have made for yourself. The goal is to discover your nature, and nature helps you do it. In nature, nothing is perfect and everything is perfect. Trees can be contorted, bent in weird ways, and they are still beautiful. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. To me, a lost carpet of pine needles or a spongy grass is more welcome than the most luxurious Persian rug. I believe in God, only I spell it nature. If you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. There is something infinitely healing in the repeated reference of nature. The assurance that dawn comes after night and spring after winter. Live in its season as it passes. Breathe the air, drink the drink. Taste the fruit and resign yourself to the influence of the earth. I go to nature to be soothed and healed, and to have my senses put in order. There's a whole world out there, right outside your window. You'd be a fool to miss it. To forget how to dig the earth and to tend the soil is to forget ourselves. Study nature, love nature, stay close to nature. It will never fail you. The sun, with all those planets revolving around it and dependent on it, can still reap in a bunch of grapes, as if it had nothing else in the universe to do. Men argue, nature acts. All my life through, the new sight of nature made me rejoice like a child. Land really is the best art. Everything in nature invites us constantly to be what we are. The best thing one can do when it's raining is to let it rain. Many eyes go through the meadow, but few see the flower in it. Spring is nature's way of saying, let's party. There are always flowers for those who want to see them. The goal of life is to make your heartbeat match the beat of the universe, to match your nature with nature. The Amen of nature is always a flower. Nature teaches more than she preaches. There are no sermons in stones. It is easier to get a spark out of a stone than a moral. The earth is what we all have in common. The least movement is of importance to all nature. The entire ocean is affected by a people. Let the rain kiss you. Let the rain beat upon your head with silver liquid drops. Let the rain sing you a lullaby. Nature is loved by what is best in us. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. A morning glory at my window satisfies me more than the metaphysics of books. One touch of nature makes the whole world kin. Time spent amongst trees is never wasted time. Never, no, never did nature say one thing and wisdom another. The fairest thing in nature, a flower, still has its roots in earth and manure. Those who contemplate the beauty of the earth find reserves of strength that will endure as long as life lasts. The poetry of the earth is never dead. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. Nature always wears the color of the spirit. The earth laughs in flowers. Thank you for listening to us. Namaste and welcome to our channel. Education is perhaps one of the most important ingredients to be happy, successful, and constructive life. In fact, having access to a good education during childhood and your early adulthood can make a real life difference in your life later. So the quotes about education can help you to quickly re-inspire your passion for education. I hope these quotes will make you realize how important education is in one's life. Let's begin. A child miseducated is a child lost. A good teacher must be able to put himself in the place of those who find learning hard. A liberal education is at the heart of a civil society, and at the heart of a liberal education is the act of teaching. An educational system isn't worth a great deal if it teaches young people how to make a living, but does not teach them how to make a life. All the world is a laboratory to the inquiring mind. An investment in knowledge pays the best dividends. Before any great things are accomplished, a memorable change must be made in the system of education to raise the lower rank of society nearer to the higher. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Children have to be educated, but they have also to be left to educate themselves. Children must be taught how to think, not what to think. Do not confine your children to your own learning, for they were born in another time. Do not just teach your kids to read. Teach them to question what they read. Teach them to question everything. Education aims to give you a boost up the ladder of knowledge. Too often, it just gives you a cramp on one of its runs. Education costs money, but then so does ignorance. Education is a better safeguard of liberty than a standing army. Education is a progressive discovery of our own ignorance. Education is a vaccine for violence. Education is not filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Education is not the preparation for life. Education is life itself. Education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. Education is the key to unlock. Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Education is what survives when what has been learned has been forgotten. Education is doing anything that changes you. Education should be exercise. It has become massage. Education has produced a vast population, able to read but unable to distinguish what is worth reading. Good teaching is 1/4 preparation and 3/4 theatre. I am not a teacher but an awakener. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think. I read Shakespeare and the Bible and I can shoot dice. That's what I call a liberal education. I am not afraid of storms, for I am learning to sail my ship. If you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. It is 1,000 times better to have common sense without education than to have education without common sense. Learning never exhausts the mind. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Minds are like parachutes. They only function when they are open. My idea of education is to unsettle the minds of the young and inflame their intellect. No man who worships education has got the best out of education. Without a gentle contempt for education, no man's education is complete. Only a generation of readers will spawn a generation of writers. Real education must ultimately be limited to men who insist on knowing. The rest is mere sheep herding. Teach the children, so it will not be necessary to teach the adult. Teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. Teaching is more than imparting knowledge. It is inspiring change. Learning is more than absorbing fact. It is acquiring understanding. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn. The basic idea behind teaching is to teach people what they need to know. Thank you for listening to us. Namaste and welcome to our channel. Art is a form of human expression. The world is full of art. These art codes will make you understand what an art is and how incomplete we and our life would be without art and creativity. Let's get started. Every child is an artist. The problem is staying an artist when you grow up. If you hear a voice within you say you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. Art takes courage. Don't think about making art, just get it done. Let everyone else decide if it's good or bad, whether they love it or hate it. While they are deciding, make even more art. Art is a collaboration between God and the artist, and the less the artist does, the better. We don't make mistakes in art, just happy little accidents. Painting is poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen. Every artist was first an amateur. There is nothing more truly artistic than to love people. Art washes away from the shawl the dust of everyday life. I found I could see things with color and shapes that I could not see any other way. Things I had no words for. Art is not what you see, but what you make others see. A work of art which isn't based on feeling isn't art at all. Life is art, art is life, never separate it. Art is contagious, pass it on. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. Creativity is more than just being different. Anybody can plan weird, that's easy. What's hard is to be as simple as batch. Making the simple awesomely simple, that's creativity. Originality is nothing but judicious imitation. Creativity is just connecting things. You can't use up creativity. the more you use, the more you have. Passion is one great force that unleashes creativity. Even if you are passionate about something, then you are more willing to take risk. It is wise to learn. It is godlike to create. Art is piercing the mundane to find the marvelous. Art is a natural extension of our enthusiasm. Creative work is a gift to the world and every being in it. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. Art is the stored honey of the human soul. Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time. Painting is easy when you don't know how, but very difficult when you do. To practice any art, no matter how well or how badly, is a way to make your soul grow. For heaven's sake, so do it. Creativity comes from a conflict of ideas. If I could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint. Great art picks up where nature ends. Those who do not want to imitate anything produce nothing. The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery. To create one's own world takes courage. To be an artist is to believe in life. Every good painter paints what he is. In art, the hand can never execute anything higher than the heart can imagine. Art must be an expression of love, or it is nothing. Don't be an art critic, but paint. There lies salvation. A good artist has less time than ideas. I never paint dreams or nightmares. I paint my own reality. There is no must in art because art is free. Painting is a means of self-enlightenment. Art is the only way to run away without leaving home. An artist cannot fail. It is a success to be won. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. No great artist ever sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist. Painting is just another way of keeping a diary. Thank you for listening to us. Namaste and welcome to our channel. Music is a part of all of our lives, from when we are growing up to when we are growing old. Music is not only created by people, but it is also all around us in nature. It is the only sound that makes your heart happy, no matter what the situation is. So, these quotes will help you know what an awesome thing a music is and help you express your love for music. So, let's begin. Music is like a dream, one that I cannot hear. Without music, life would be a mistake. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. How is it that music can, without words, evoke our laughter, our fears, our highest aspirations? Music is a language that does not speak in particular words. It speaks in emotions. And if it's in the bones, it's in the bones. Music in itself is healing. It's an explosive expression of humanity. It's something we are all touched by. One good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. The only truth is music. There are two means of refugee from the miseries of life: music and cats. Music is the shorthand of emotion. Without music, life would be a blank. Music was my refugee. I could crawl into the space between the notes and curl my back to loneliness. After silence, that which comes nearest to expressing the inexpressible is music. The most exciting rhythms seem unexpected and complex. The most beautiful melodies, simple and inevitable. Where words fail, music speaks. Music expresses that which cannot be said and on which it is impossible to be silent. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. Music is a higher revelation than all wisdom and philosophy. Music is to the soul what words are to the mind. Music, once admitted to the soul, becomes a shot of a spirit and never dies. Music touches us emotionally where words alone can't. A painter paints picture on canvas, but musicians paint their pictures on silence. Music can name the unnameable and communicate the unknowable. I like beautiful melodies telling me terrible things. Who hears music feels his solitude. Music is the literature of the heart. It commences where speech ends. The music is not in the notes, but in the silence between. Music makes one feel so romantic. At least it always gets on one's nerves, which is the same thing nowadays. If you cannot teach me to fly, teach me to sing. Music is the strongest form of magic. Music is the wine that fills the cup with silence. Music is the language of the spirit. It opens the secret of life, bringing peace, abolishing strife. Music is the show can be heard by the universe. Music acts like a magic key to which the most tightly closed heart opens. Music will help dissolve your perplexities and purify your character and sensibilities. And in time of care and sorrow, will keep a fountain of joy alive in you. Music is an outburst of the soul. Music is the great uniter, an incredible force, something that people who differ on everything and anything else can have in common. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. It is always fatal to have music or poetry interrupted. Tell me what you listen to, and I will tell you who you are. My heart, which is so full to overflowing, has often been solaced and refreshed by music when sick and weary. No matter how corrupt, greedy, and heartless our government, our corporations, our media, and our religious and charitable institutions may become, the music will still be wonderful. Life seems to go on without effort when I am filled with music. Music is everybody's business. It's only the publishers who think people own it. Life is like a beautiful melody. Only the lyrics are messed up. Music is an agreeable harmony for the honor of God and the permissible delights of the soul. Music can change the world because it can change people. If music be the food of love, play on. See your life in terms of music. To me, the greatest pleasure of writing is not what it's about, but the music the words make. Thank you for listening to us.